Stuck in your memory. Don't fight moves if you get all this cash. Money, weapon for life. Weapon for life. Weapon for life. Weapon for life. I rhyme just to show them skills. I'm only 10, but I'm about to pay them bills. Bring it on. We could get it on. Either it's cold or warm. Anytime I'm on, you can ring the alarm. Like the fuse to the bomb. Keep it calm, or you're gonna end up really wrong. Get it straight, or you better escape my rap. So wait, I'm so greedy, I'm with the whole plate. You're looking so late. Just fall back with it. I'll be the next accident. Oops, don't make me, or even try to fake me. I play with toys still, but you cannot play me something big with it. Yes, I done did it. I'm up in the party with a brand new fitted, and you can ask my mama. I was born for this drama. Now back to the cake, because I'm all about them commas. Whoa, let it rain, let it rain, let it rain, huh? Weapon for life, weapon for life, weapon for life, weapon for life, weapon for life. Not nasty in my daylight, can't see me. Sit down and play notes like Stevie, my name. Stuck in your memory, don't fake moves.
He said playing keynotes like Stevie. You ain't get that one, did you? How you doing, everybody? I'm Dr. Jonathan Perry. I'm here with MFC in the spit it.
Salute.
Out to be. Yeah, you gotta let me finish. And then spit it out to be. Remember they used to do that back in the days? They used to do that old
Yep.
This is Frankie Crocker. It was some more crazy shit y'all used to watch. Used to be in the beaches. Don't change that channel. Like, God damn. Anyway, it's a Friday to fly day. You know that. Got to put the camera on because there's some people that owe some people some money. Do the Birdman hands. Come on, pay up. If you owe that money, pay up. That's not nice. You know, you don't owe somebody some money. At least call them, let them know, you know, you don't got it like that. I could give you a third, a half, something better than nothing. Yes. Friday. Pay up day. Get paid, one or the other. How are you doing, MFC?
I'm good.
You are good. Well, Rex HEUERMANN is not good. Okay.
Nah,
HEUERMANN,
he's not doing good.
that's the name, right? That's the
Yep.
architect. He's 59 years old. He's caught up with a bunch of murders. I say over 10. MFC, how many you said?
Well, right now they're only charging him with the 4.
Oh, he's gonna get the mother load. He's gonna get the mother load. Man, an architect, 59 years old. But this is from a while ago, but still.
This is from back in 2010. Well, the murder started back in 2007, but they found one body, like, what was it? I think it was December 10th of 2010. And then within 2 days, within just a few feet from each other, like they said, a tenth of a mile. So that's like, what, 2 blocks? They found, within 2 days, they found the other 3 bodies. That's why they call it the GILGO 4.
Yeah. But check this out. We got some, just to give people a little bit of
a background.
That suspect was taken into custody last night. Tim McNicholas is live there, continuing our team coverage this noon. What's happening, Jim?
Mary, police have been moving in and out of this building throughout the morning. This building is located on 5th Avenue. It is listed on WeWork.com as a co-working office space, and sources tell CBS 2 that investigators believe the man arrested this morning, Rex HEUERMANN, worked in this building. Sources also tell us the 11th floor has been closed off by police. We've seen several investigators throughout the morning moving in and out of here. Many of them are wearing shirts that say crime lab. There are officers here from Suffolk County PD as well as New York State Police. We've been talking to people who work on other floors of the building. A couple of them say they don't know HEUERMANN, but they've heard of the case of the Long Island serial killer, and today they are stunned.
It's a little scary that he was 2 floors above me. We're right on the 9th floor.
Oh my
God. No one had any idea, obviously. That's like really scary. And it went on for so long too, which is also horrifying.
I'm just in shock to find out he worked in my building, and I couldn't get in the elevator with him.
And obviously, this is also a very popular area for tourists and for people working in Midtown.
Yes.
A lot of folks have just stopped here, started to take pictures and ask around, trying to piece together exactly what's happening here after they saw this law enforcement presence. We're working to find out more about exactly what police are looking for in this building and what they're finding. Live in Midtown, Tim McNicholas.
Wow. Yes, so it's getting spicy. It's getting spicy. Yes. He's definitely gonna because this is what I was checking. See that little timeline they had?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what they know so far. Okay. That looks like that's 7 bodies right there, MFC. Yeah.
It comes up to 11
No,
altogether.
I'm just saying that's right
Yeah.
there. They're gonna definitely get him. There's gonna be he's gonna get the mother load. Yeah, he's gonna get the mother load. It's sad that you got it seems like you always had people like this. Doesn't matter race, creed, poverty level. It's sickos all over. You just got to watch out. And I was just telling somebody, had nothing to do with this case. It was just in general. We was talking about how you have to watch your kids nowadays versus before. And I said, shoot, there was sickos years ago. It just wasn't publicized like it is now.
Exactly.
But you always had people, that came up missing. And it wasn't just serial killers. Remember, you had a lot of lynchings. Like you go down south, you hear those stories. Even in Florida, when I was in Florida, I've heard stories, years ago, like right after slavery, they would, take people and feed them to the alligators, especially, infants, rest in peace.
As bait.
Yes. Horror stories, things you would think now, and, but all over. Sick minds has no boundaries, it seems. Because there's a guy you would think seems upstanding, right, MFC? Would you think?
Right.
Just off the cover of him.
Well, when these crimes started happening, you know how they always put together a profile, and the profile said anywhere between 20 to 40 years old, someone that was a professional person, very intelligent, able to talk to people and be calm about it, so you could be, because that's the thing that everybody always says. Well, that person seems so nice, and I would never think this person would ever do anything like that.
Oh yeah,
and that's just part of that profile, So, but in this case, apparently the new police commissioner that they have out there started an investigation, I believe, last February, and so they got to this point of where it was somehow off one of the victims, there was DNA, because now technology is better than it was back in 2010. And they were able to take pizza from his job back in February. And that's how they got the DNA.
To her death at this time.
For more, let's bring in CBS News correspondent Michael George. Michael, what can you tell us about what happened in the courtroom today?
Well, Errol, Lana, for more than 10 years, this has been one of the most notorious unsolved serial murder cases on the East Coast. Finally, this is the break that law enforcement waiting for, the arrest of Rex Heuermann. We're learning some more details about exactly what led them to this suspect after more than 10 years. But just to give you a little background, where we are right now, Gilgo Beach, this is where the first victim's body was discovered in a burlap bag more than 10 years ago. And then after that, police started finding more and more bodies, at least 10 victims that we know of. But for 10 years, no major break in the case. That all ended in the last 24 hours with the arrest of Rex Heuermann. We do expect him to appear in court on 6 counts of murder shortly, and a lot more details to come about how they actually tracked him down. One thing that we do know, the clinching piece of evidence, a discarded pizza box that investigators took and linked DNA evidence to him. So we're awaiting some more details, but that is one of the key pieces that finally led to this arrest.
Wow.
That is a fascinating detail, Michael George. Talk to us more about last night's arrest. What else have you learned about what investigators were looking for on the property? What led them there?
Well, early indications from court documents is they've been looking at Heuermann for some time now. We don't, again, know what it was that initially triggered that, but they visited his home, which is about 20 miles from here where some of the bodies were discovered. It's about a 20-minute drive in Massapequa Park, a small red home in a quiet neighborhood, very unassuming. And what police say they discovered there were burner cell phones, some of which included details of calls that he allegedly made to some of his victims' family members after the murders. So they say that they found several pieces of critical evidence at his home, and that was part of the investigation. Police are still at that home right now, even as he's awaiting facing a judge in court.
it just gets more strange as you.
Crazy, right?
Yep.
Sick people, man.
Yeah.
He's up there calling the family members. Who else was doing that? Wasn't Jeffrey Dahmer doing that? Right?
I think so. Yeah.
No, remember? Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer. He was calling back, to the house. Remember he called the house of the victim that he had that escaped. Remember?
Right.
They have this sick. That's just like how they write letters to the precinct or to the press. They do these things, and it's like, you got away with it. You're gloating. Same thing we talk about with the murder rap, where they gloat off of these people that they murder, afterwards, and it just brings a bad karma.
And in some cases, you always hear about people that they take trophies, like a piece of hair, a piece of jewelry, or something.
They are hopeful that this is finally the resolution they've been waiting for.
Oh, wow. Michael George, a lot of very stunning new developments. Thank you.
We just heard some details about this suspect, but we understand he's facing 2 different types of murder charges in connection with all these deaths, or at least the deaths of 3 women, for a total of 6 counts. Just talk to us about the difference between the charges he's facing and why.
Well, Errol, yes, Michael's report was just fascinating. We are hearing right now, though, that he did face a judge in Suffolk County and pled not guilty to the charges against him, and that he was ordered held without bail at the request of the Suffolk County prosecutor. We did recently learn, too, that he was arrested in Manhattan late last night. He has an architect's office in Manhattan, and he was arrested nearby, not at his home in Massapequa Park. But police, state police, Suffolk police, FBI did have a raid on his home. And interesting enough, his home is right across the bay from where GILGO Beach is, where the remains of many of these women were found. We have learned, too, recently, as Michael just pointed out, that he is charged with the murders of 3 of the women. He's a suspect in one other, and we don't know whether he will be connected to any of the other 10 women that have been killed, and part of this unsolved murders in the last decade. They've been trying to solve this puzzle.
10 women whose remains have been found in this area. We had heard from Aaron earlier that 4 of them believed to all have been having earmarks of potentially having the same perpetrator. When you say one other, I'm assuming that's Maureen Brainerd Barnes that you're referencing. Why are we not seeing charges in connection to her death?
Well, for some reason, the district attorney has chosen at this time not to charge him with, that particular murder. But we will find out more. The district attorney is having a news conference at 4, and hopefully we'll get more details on that. Just to add to what Michael had so described so well in detail, that one of the evidence that the police were looking at is that a pickup truck was seen in the area by a witness. And early on, they had told police about this pickup truck. And I think that what police are telling us is that they kind of went backwards then from the pickup truck. And then, as Michael just so fascinatingly described, the pizza box, getting the DNA, then getting a burner phone, realizing that he had made several calls to the victims and to the victim's sister on this burner phone.
All of
Yes, bumbling criminals. Always goes back to that. Bumbling criminals. You won't eat on the job. Leave your phone at home. Listen, you're gonna listen. We'll listen to them. Now time.
Like I said, the technology they have now, they're able to check with DNA and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. Definitely that. Shout out to Shaw Banks in the building.
Salute.
Crazy, man. Yeah. Watch your ass in New York. Some crazy people's in New York, man. Damn, we about to get to that. But before we do, we gonna definitely get on this Rex guy. He's making MI hot, MFC. He's making the block hot, as they say. Yes.
Well, see, that's something else that, as time goes by, more stuff will come out. But also, it's that whole beach area, and there's right behind the beach is a park area, the GILGO Park, like a state park, and it was like a dumping ground. So it may turn out that there's more involved.
Think so?
So, yep.
That's what my peoples are saying. It's a cult. It looks like a cult. I'm like,
Well, it doesn't. You just have sick people
those
that you
psychos
think
got
about.
some strength. Trust me,
Yeah.
they just like with Dahmer. You think Dahmer had, it seemed like he had, some of his crimes. Remember, these are athletic men he was putting
Yeah.
down. So,
But then he had his own method. So each
but even with that,
each serial killer, they have methods. They have their own
I get,
style.
yeah. Hey, yeah, I'm not in that mind state. I know exactly what you mean.
No, but it's and then you have to look at the fact that he has a wife he's been with for years. This is his second wife. He has 2 children, and
so he has 2 kids. That's a
he has
messed
2
up
kids.
pill, man. That's a messed up pill.
And the house he lived in, his parents bought that house back in the 70s. So he's never moved around. He was in the same place. So again, so he was like born there and raised there, and
that's a nice place. Massapequa, yeah. I had a friend that was up that way. Matter of fact, Rockefeller Records. You might not remember. Yeah. Shout out Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came there. And even El Cool J, he grew up there before he went to Queens. It was an incident. I guess you got to read his book to see, but yeah, Massapequa, Long Island. That's definitely where the money's at.
Yeah.
So it don't matter where you're at, where you're from. It's all about what's up.
It's all kinds of stuff.
Soul, man. Yeah. There's some crazy people. Woo!
That's why, like you said, just like you said earlier, we all have to watch our children because you don't know what's going on out there. You have people that are unstable.
You know what? See, they say in the pizza box, MFC, but see, this is something they don't want to alarm people. Not to mention, it's solving a lot of cases. Just like how you take that that blood test, to see your ancestors and everything. That puts you in the database, for example. Just like how you can find past cousins. Oh, I just found my sister. She's over here, and I didn't know my mom's had this kid.
Have half sister or 3, 4 uncles. Yeah.
So if you're learning these things, you see what I'm saying? Say a cousin of mine, for example. Let's say I didn't even do that, but my cousin did that. Trying to find out his ancestors' DNA,
right?
Whatever.
They go from DNA after you.
Exactly. So from your DNA, you can tell.
Yep. Yes, it's true.
So they're not gonna tell just the common.
No, because they're still getting stuff together. They just had enough that they were able to indict, and that's
Well, I'm quite sure they had a little bit more than they're telling the average, press.
Oh, sure.
Remember the lawsuit that you would have if you would, if you was to come to him and it's not him, especially a person,
right.
With his type of, he has a reputation, not as a criminal.
He already has his own legal team, so it's not legal aid.
Yep. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Hopefully he's been saving his money, but that's going to be a hard thing to beat when you got multiple bodies like that. And you're already, of course, it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but you already know.
Well, from Winning Cipher, we give a shout out to all the surviving family members of all the victims. Because this is something that's been going on for 13 years or more.
Well, yeah, it didn't happen just yesterday. So of course, it's as they say, somewhat of a piece going over them. You know how you always, it's
just
open
being a
thing,
parent,
an open wound, as they say. So just finding out.
Just being a parent or a sister and brother of a victim, everybody knows that hurt, unsolved things.
And a couple of them was on the street, so I guess they really didn't look as hard. Some of the families were saying there was some accounts of that I saw,
Yeah.
which happens a lot of the times. That's why it always goes back to be on your best behavior, because this is how we're being treated. You could become something, and you're not going to be looked at the same.
That's true.
It's the realities of it.
Yeah.
Because the resources aren't there. For our people the same. So it's just how it is, and it's sad, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
Gonna be for a minute, but yeah, I wanted to show you just a little more so we can get some context, because this is it's definitely gonna get. I think it's gonna be more bodies turning up. Do you think so, MFC?
Well, I feel that it's going to be definitely more information coming out, and possibly more because remember with a killing and stuff like that, they have to, just because it happened all in the same area, there's different telltale signs they look at, that if this person tied something a certain way versus another way, or
the
like the MO. So like some so they look at stuff like that too. And like again, the way the technology is, they could look and find stuff now that they didn't have before. That
he was trying to be slick. He had those burner phones. So he was trying to be slick, but his butt, like you said, they want to keep trophies. So I love
so much.
Yeah.
I really want to get your take on this suspect. Again, we're still waiting to learn a lot more about him, who he is. But so far, we know 59-year-old man. He was an architect. Neighbors, you might have just heard, said he left his house in a suit and tie with a briefcase. From what we do know about him and this case, does he fit the profile?
Well, yeah, he actually does, because almost all of the cases, serial murder cases that I've ever worked on, the offender looks very normal, looks very typical. They don't stand out. And that's why neighbors say that it was a nice guy, didn't see anything unusual. The pathology that causes someone to go out and murder people for sexual reasons, serial sexual killer, is way below the surface. So you don't see them. There's nothing physically about them that makes them stand out and send off alarm bells.
We talked to the victims' families, or excuse me, one of the victims' families spoke with News Nation's Marnie Hughes earlier, revealed the possibility of more victims. Let's take a listen quickly.
Oh, wow. So as soon as yesterday, I just want to clarify that more remains had been located.
Yes, and they may or may not be connected to the others, but I'm virtually certain that this fellow, if he is the killer of the four, he's killed others who have not yet been found.
What do you think here? Do you think there could be more victims?
Oh, I absolutely do. And I'll tell you why. This kind of behavior, it begins when the man is in late teens or early 20s. It does not start at 49 years of age. So what we do in the FBI as a profiler, we go back in time to look at the practice murders. And those, we usually go back for maybe 5 or 10 years to see if there are unsolved murders, maybe a different weapon was used, different circumstances, because they have to learn how they want to murder. And at that point, they can then go on to become a serial murderer. So I would expect that he was acting out, actually starting to commit murders, probably in his 20s, maybe 30s at the latest. So I think your previous guest, John, is exactly right. There are other crimes out there and likely other murders. We're just not aware of them at this point.
Authorities usually say that in cases like this, you wait for the suspect to maybe make a mistake. That's how you catch him. This has been going on for decades. And like you said, there are possibly other victims here. What might have been his mistake here? Or what do you think was the tipping point leading to his arrest?
I think based on the confidence of law enforcement today, there has to be some type of DNA that they have on the case. The mistakes that most of these individuals make is in terms of leaving evidence behind the scene. They cannot be 100% careful, 100% exact on how they commit the crimes. They're not perfect crimes. So he did leave evidence behind. And if the evidence was packaged correctly, collected in a correct manner, and it most likely was that evidence is now being reprocessed. That evidence is now being looked at again, even though it's 10, 15 years old, and they're able to be able to look at it through new technology, which is what they're doing right now with DNA. So he made mistakes. These crimes are never perfect. These offenders are very arrogant individuals by personality, and they think they can get away with it, and they think they're smarter than law enforcement, and they think that they commit the perfect murder, and they do not.
That's right. Let them know.
That's true. That's true.
Go and get it. Don't be watching TV, believe in them things. There's so many people. Oh, I watch this show all the time, and man, that's what they showing you. Come on now.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't gonna give up all the goods right away. You know, unless you
No.
don't have any type of tactics. Not to mention, they always want to keep an upper hand. And one thing I've noticed from the little bit I've read and seen in my illustrious life, at one point they were out armored. If you notice that in the United States, right, MFC, during
Yes.
I want to say your era, right? Remember at
Yeah.
one point they started seeing how the drug dealers had the Uzis, and they was like, hey, we got these little guns. Next thing you know, they got the upper hand, and we have to deal with that now. And that's why
Yeah.
you see, now they rolling like, they're literally the army, because at one point, like I was telling these young boys, young meaning their early 20s, you're outgunned now, because at one point even I want to say even on the Jesse James time, you read those books, they had the Tommy guns. At one point they had the Tommy guns, they had quicker cars than the police. So they was like, hey, we got to step this up, Then you had things,
Well, that was just like in New York. That was just like even in the 70s, the average police officer only was able to carry a revolver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where people that worked for the feds and stuff like that, they already had their Glocks. And it took until almost the 90s before the cops could have the Glocks. But they only had what they called a 6-shooter. Right. But meanwhile, you had your criminals. Their stuff was
Uzis, I know.
Yeah, their stuff was out there. So, they had to bring in, at least here in New York, it was called TNT. They had to bring in TNT.
Oh my God.
And those guys came in and cleaned up different neighborhoods. They
ain't cleaned up nothing.
Stuff like that. But it was
terrorized. That was the
their weapons. Their weapons
TNT
that
terrorized New York.
It was but it was and that's why you're losing the battle. It's like, you're going to battle with bows and arrows, and the other people got bazookas and stuff like that, or AK-47s.
Yeah, that was
crazy. Level the field.
TNT, because TNT, man, that was when that cop got shot. I was young. Oh my God. Anyway, when that cop got shot, something Byron, that was in Queens. Shout out to Queens, Alice. Yeah, they did that, and that just started a snowball effect. And they did, but see, what was messed up with TNT was you got a lot of innocent people that got caught up in that.
No, it's true.
There's some people that when they did their sweeps, they wasn't, trying to weed out, oh, you was just walking the dog,
Right.
So,
no, it's true.
That was,
But unfortunately, it was getting so bad they had to do something. And for that point.
Yeah, but it's okay. Think about it. It's okay if you don't live there, but think about it if you was living through it. It's not okay for your kid to get caught up. You don't have money for legal fees, so now they gotta take a plea. So now they got a felony, and all they were doing was going from point A to Z, and that was happening a lot. Not even just drug cases. You had robberies. Okay, hey, let's clean up. Let's clean up. Let's make it look good for the year. I need as many arrests as possible. So now you're arresting these kids who don't know the law. They're scared to death. So as soon as they get hemmed up, whether they did it or not, it's like, and then you're thinking
in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The stupid mentality, MFC, like, okay, I grew up here. This is my hood pass, and I got away with some things. So this is, you make these excuses up. So that's the messed up part, and it's really, really messed up, because now you have the little kids, that are getting caught up in this stuff, and that's when there's always kids that will get caught in the crossfire, but now it seems like it's like every day you got something.
Police say a gunman
It's Hold on. This
Off the back of
I gotta get this because this is my hood.
See 6 evidence cones on the corner of East 193rd Street and Morris Avenue. This is where police say a gunman hopped off the back of a motorized scooter, opened fire, and then jumped back on, the driver speeding away. It happened just before 6 Tuesday night. 4 people who were walking out on the sidewalk outside of St. James Park were shot in the hail of bullets. This one was in the park. She didn't want her face on camera.
Consistent. It was like 5 or 6 shots. It was very fast. We actually it was very fast, and everybody started running around.
Police say the victims are a 25-year-old man shot in the back, his 23-year-old male cousin shot multiple times, and a 6-year-old boy shot in the leg. His 3-year-old brother also shot in the leg. Both boys walking with their mother, all expected to be okay. The chief of patrol says it's not clear who the intended target of the shooting was.
That's crazy. Shooting wild when there's kids on deck. Not nice. That's not nice at all. You know.
No, that's and that's casualties just walking in your own neighborhood.
No, yeah. That's always been a wild neighborhood, but not like that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
We used to play in that park, take a chick to the park after the movies right off Fordham Road. That's why I'm surprised they getting busy like that. But they had a nice little bike. There's a couple of blocks you could dip off in. But it's just getting back to it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No, it's not. Especially with those little scooters and stuff like that. You hear it's happening more and more and not only just New York, but all over the place. These little they're on those scooters and they're driving by and
that was
they're
a big
shooting.
thing. That was a big thing in Florida. Shit, crazy.
Yeah. So
it's. But I said this. If you could go back, okay, people bring things from where they from, okay, and this is a big thing. Okay, you go down to Jamaica, you go down to, Haiti, all of that. All right, St. Croix. All right, they get busy. You got drive-bys and vehicles, but it's primarily on bikes, on pedal bikes. Oh yeah, so you got to remember, just like with machetes.
Yeah.
I think I probably seen 1 or 2 on the streets. Jail's a different thing. You don't have firearms like that, but you don't see a machete attacks like you see now, and that's because bring where they from. Up in Cuba, they chopping you up. They have guns there as well.
That's a normal weapon.
Yeah, that's more of a thing you would see there, but now it's all over like the internet. It takes you anywhere. But yes, it's a Friday, a fly day. What are you doing, MSC? It's the fight today.
I say winding down from the busy week. So
wind down to turn up. There you go.
Yep. So I think for everybody, getting off where they have the weekend off, this is like, they're getting off of work now and they're doing whatever. Either, some people, as soon as you get off work, you go food shopping or you do your things or you just come home and chill. That's the day you don't cook. You just take out and keep it moving. So.
No,
everyone
you
has to be
ladies in
safe.
the kitchen, okay? What'd you say? My boy Radical Mike. Shout out Radical Mike. Radical Mike said, your woman better be in that kitchen. Okay, when you come home, okay, she takes your bag off of your shoulder. Yeah, and she cooks that hot meal. And she says, how many kids do you want? Not we, you. So yeah, just letting you ladies know that's
why we're giving Radical Mike a hug. He needs a hug.
You'll stop it. He
needs someone to listen to. He needs someone to listen. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's a Friday and we're gonna have fun today.
Yeah. But everybody be safe. You be careful out there, and like I always tell everybody, just try to look at things positive. With all this crazy stuff going on.
Not negative?
We have to not negative. You have to look at your family.
Positive.
You have to look at your family and your close friends and stuff like that. Because a lot of us have been blessed to have close friends.
Loved ones.
And loved ones, or your loved ones.
loved ones.
You know?
Contains everybody that you have love for. But yes, we're gonna be jetting out. MFC, you have a good one.
Thank you. And again, shout out to Shaw Banks. Have a safe one.
Yes, have a safe one. Enjoy the day. Thank you. Friday, yo, somebody money, make money.
Bomb legacy. Rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life. Dying nasty over daylight, can't see me sit down and play keynotes like Stevie. My name stuck in your memory. The don't think moves, and we can get all this cash money. Rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life.
I rhyme just to show them skills. I'm only 10, but I'm about to pay them bills. Bring it on, we could get it on. Either it's cold or warm. Anytime I'm on, you can ring the alarm like the fuse to the bomb. Keep it calm, or you're gonna end up really wrong. Get it straight, or you better escape my rap. So wait, I'm so greedy on the whole plate. You're looking so late. Just fall back with it, or be the next accident. Whoops, don't make me, or even try to fake me. I play with toys still, but you cannot play me. So I'm big with it. Yes, I done did it. I'm up in the party with a brand new fitted, and you could ask my mama. I was born for this drama. Now back to the cake, cause I'm all about them commas. Whoa.